Today, we explore Hamas, how it rose to power in Gaza, its decades-long conflict with Israel, and the recent developments that have drawn the world's attention. Let's go back to where it all started. 1987, visuals of Palestinian protests in Gaza streets in 1987, the First Intifada, or Palestinian uprising, began. From within this unrest, Hamas was born. Originally part of the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas soon became a separate organization dedicated to ending Israel's presence in Gaza and the West Bank. Hamas footage. 1989 Hamas's first major attack came in 1989 with the kidnapping and killing of 2 Israeli soldiers. Soon, they began launching suicide bombings, marking themselves as a significant and violent force. The U.S. quickly designated them a terrorist organization. The Second Intifada. Early 2000s. The Second Intifada in 2000 was even more violent, with Hamas employing suicide bombings, car rammings, kidnappings, and launching rockets into Israel. This period claimed over 1,000 Israeli lives and marked Hamas as a powerful player in the region. Visuals of Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. In 2005, Israel withdrew its presence from Gaza, hoping for peace. But by 2006, Hamas won the Palestinian legislative elections, taking control of Gaza and clashing with rival Fatah. Within a year, Hamas became the sole authority in Gaza after a bloody internal struggle. 2007 Hamas control visuals and armed men on streets. Since 2007, Hamas has ruled Gaza without holding elections. They've diverted international aid to fund weapons, tunnels, and rockets. Meanwhile, life for Gazan civilians has only become more challenging. High poverty, restrictions on freedoms, and limited resources define daily life. 2011 Gilad Shalit footage. In 2011, Israel agreed to exchange over 1,000 prisoners for the return of captured soldier Gilad Shalit. This exchange freed many high-profile Hamas members, including leaders who would later plan more attacks against Israel. 2014 Operation Protective Edge visuals. In 2014, after 3 Israeli teens were kidnapped and killed, Israel launched a major operation. The conflict lasted nearly 2 months, with Hamas firing over 4,500 rockets into Israel and Israel targeting Hamas's tunnels and infrastructure in Gaza. 2018-2019 Great March of Return. In 2018, Hamas led weekly protests called the Great March of Return along Gaza's border. These demonstrations often turned violent, with attempts to breach Israel's security fence. Hamas also used kites and balloons loaded with explosives to set Israeli farmlands on fire. 2021 conflict footage. In 2021, tensions flared again, leading to an 11-day conflict. Hamas fired thousands of rockets into Israel, and Israel responded with airstrikes. The violence underscored how volatile and devastating the situation remains. October 7, 2023 Breaking news visuals. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched an unprecedented attack on Israel, breaching the border and attacking civilians. Over 1,200 Israelis, mostly civilians, were killed, marking it as the deadliest day for Jews since the Holocaust. Current state of conflict, visuals of war, news clips. Since then, Israel has declared its objectives: to rescue hostages and dismantle Hamas's military power. Meanwhile, Hamas continues to operate in Gaza's populated areas, using civilians as human shields. Hamas recent statement visuals, headlines on ceasefire call. In a surprising move, Hamas has called for an end to the fighting, citing the urgent humanitarian crisis in Gaza and requesting a ceasefire. But with Israel focused on eliminating Hamas's military capacity, the outcome remains uncertain. Reflection on the future of Gaza and Israel. The story of Hamas is one of ideology, violence, and complex politics that have profoundly impacted Gaza and Israel. As we watch this latest chapter unfold, the question remains: will peace ever be possible, or is this just one more step in a cycle of conflict?